So I was lucky enough to get to go to Hascon, and I know a lot of people were really upset that this convention was replacing BotCon, and I had a lot of fun at BotCon the one time I went in 2012, and I had a lot of fun at the Hasbro convention too. But I thought I'd share my experiences and my thoughts on it based on kind of a Transformers point of view. There are some pros and cons, and I'll start with the pros. They didn't charge for any autographs. The ticket prices were high, but if you wanted to meet some of the celebrities like Peter Cullen and Frank Welker, then the ticket price was definitely worth it. Another thing I really liked was how big the convention center was. Places like the room where they held all their panels was gigantic. There was never a worry of it filling up and you not getting a seat, and I'd rather it look big and empty than small and me wait in line and then not be able to get in after waiting forever. So I'm mostly talking about Transformers, and the main reason of course I went was for the Transformers stuff. The Transformers section was pretty cool. They had giant props from the movies, Barricade, Bumblebee, Optimus. They had some new toys on display, some old ones as well, some ones that you could get hands-on with like Triplicon. The Transformers section only actually made up just a corner of the convention. The rest of it, there was tons of stuff to do if you were a fan of Nerf, Star Wars, or anything else that they had there. So on to the negative things about the convention. The biggest negative thing was definitely the lack of a proper dealer room. They just had a spot where you could buy toys from them just like you would on Hasbro Toy Shop for the same retail prices. And then of course the exclusives booth, which I like the exclusives and the line wasn't that long, but I would definitely have rather there been a big dealer room where you could browse around like you could at BotCon, because that's half the fun of conventions if you ask me. So yeah, lack of a dealer room is definitely one of the biggest complaints and one of the biggest things that I miss from BotCon. My second big complaint about the convention is actually kind of a complaint about one of the things I said I liked, which was the autograph voucher system. While it was nice that you didn't have to pay for autographs, they had it set up really poorly. Basically they only handed out vouchers for autographs an hour before the autograph session occurred, and the line for it was just way out of control. It was one huge line for all of the autograph sessions that were going to happen at a specific time, and you had no idea when to line up. I asked someone how early I should line up for Peter Cullen and Frank Welker, because that was the main reason why I traveled all the way there, is to meet them. And they told me, about an hour or an hour and a half earlier, and I kind of stopped by 2 hours earlier because I was pretty worried and I wanted to make sure I got it. And they told me they had already capped the line and that I couldn't stand in the line to get autograph vouchers. Even though not everyone in the line was necessarily for Peter or Frank, it was really frustrating. There were tons of people like me who were waiting outside the line, kind of just pointlessly gathered around the end of the line that they said they had capped, that they weren't allowing any more people in. We waited around for a couple of hours because they never made it clear whether or not they knew for sure if they would run out of vouchers or not. So we kind of just waited there as we got yelled at because of the fire marshal and things like that. And eventually, they handed out the vouchers, and not even everyone in the line got a voucher. But the people who did went in and lined up for Peter and Frank in the kind of corner where they were doing the autographs. So I walked over there and I begged and pleaded for someone to sell me their pass, and they actually gave it to me for free, and I'm super thankful for that. So if you're watching this, thank you so much for giving me that pass, because my experience would have been horrible if I didn't actually get to meet them. It was really cool that the autographs were free, but it was not cool the way they were handing them out. It was really disorganized. It is kind of important to keep in mind that this was the first convention, and I think they did a pretty good job considering that. Who knows if it'll get better or worse, if they'll have a dealer room, better exclusives, whatnot. We'll see. But I had a lot of fun at this one, and I'm glad I went.